Salam Durud and welcome to Guftan channel. My name is Suleiman and I'm a Persian language teacher. How I decided to learn Persian language and how I decided to teach it. I'm from Uzbekistan, which is a Central Asian country. I was born here and raised here, but last 12 years I've spent traveling and living in different parts of the world. Right now I'm based in Bukhara, an ancient city, one of the capitals of many states back in the history. So the question is how I decided to learn Persian language. My mother tongue was Russian language, although ethnically I'm not Russian. My father was Tajik and my mother belongs more to Turkic or Tatar ethnicity. And for me, Persian language, although my father was a Tajik speaker, and Tajik is a variant of Persian, wasn't a native. I wasn't a native speaker of this language. We unfortunately didn't speak Tajiki at home. We were mostly speaking Russian, and outside I learned Uzbek, the street, more colloquial language. And Uzbek, as you know, also it belongs to Turkic languages. So Uzbek and Tajik are basically very different languages. They belong to different groups, families of languages. When Persian or Tajiki belongs to Indo-European languages, and Uzbek, same as Tatar or Turkish, they belong to Turkic family. So I was more using the Tatar at home with my grandmother, and Russian with most of my friends, and at home, at school as well. And Uzbek was more colloquial. So, but I always had this interest, this passion to Persian language, to Iran. And when I was 13, I heard for the first time music in Persian language. I loved it, and I decided that I want to understand what it's about, what they're singing about. It was a difficult task at that time because there were no such courses, school, or any kind of teacher that could help me to learn this language. And you know that the alphabet which is used for Persian is based on Arabic. So again, very few people in my country at least can read and write this alphabet. But I decided to learn it in a different way, not a classical way. So I was watching TV in Iran, in Persian, Iranian TV based in Iran or outside of Iran. At the first years, I've spent just watching and trying to understand what they're talking about. This took me a few years to start understanding some similar words, or what the context of this speech. And at the same time, I was listening to music and catching that words that I heard in TV. A few words I would ask my father. He would translate. Sometimes he didn't know the meaning of certain words because that words were mostly related to Iran, or they were very literal and not as spoken colloquial. So anyway, it took few years until I finally got a book, textbook, which was in Uzbek, and it was published in the Soviet time about Persian grammar. So it was approximately in when I was 18 or 17, like that. At the same time, I finally found a teacher who was teaching Persian, but unfortunately he didn't want to teach me. So I was insisting, but it didn't work, and by the different excuses, he was refusing to teach me Persian language, and that actually motivated me to do my own. So I learned alphabet in 3 days. I started writing and reading slowly. At the same time, I was learning the grammar, and after a couple years, I could chat with Iranians in Facebook. But at the same time, my main study was English language, because I was learning English literature and language in the university. So some tools and some ways that we were learning English, I was using for Persian as well, for learning Persian language. Until I graduated from university and moved to Tashkent. There was much easier to find a Persian teacher, Persian language teacher, and I found him in the Oriental Study University. And in few months, he helped me to sort out grammar, the basement. He helped me to put everything in order, and finally I started speaking Persian very fluent, very confident. So in Tashkent I could meet Iranians and practice with them language. After that, a few months I spent in Moscow and was working with Afghans and speaking, also learning Afghan Farsi or Dari. So that was also a good experience. And after I came back to Tashkent, started working in travel business, in travel agency, and again was seeking for opportunities to practice and to learn Persian. Although it wasn't very effective at that period because it was more focused on my work. But sometime I would meet Iranians and would speak with them and discuss different topics related to culture, to music, to history, and so on. And in 2017 I moved to Dubai, and over there I could meet more. I could practice more Persian because there's a big Iranian diaspora in Dubai. So it was a good, nice place to speak and practice Persian. And from there I would travel to Iran several times, arranging tours as well to Iran for foreign tourists and travelers. That was a great period of my life because was visiting different parts of Iran, Shiraz, Isfahan, Yazd, Tehran, and the north of Iran, and also getting familiar with Iranians, those who were born even in Dubai or those who moved to Dubai for work. And it was a good period for experience, practicing language and knowing more practical things about culture, about food, about work, and how professional many Iranians who lived in Dubai were. So the main thing about motivation about learning Persian language was actually seeking for my own identity and roots, because being Tajik is important to learn the language and to know about your own roots, about your own ancestors, and without Persian it is impossible. I was also always thinking about if I would meet my ancestors or some of the relatives, how I would communicate with them. Would I speak Russian? Will they understand it? Or I would prefer to speak the language of the ancestors and be more clear and more sincere and more relaxed in that case. That was one of the reasons, and another reason mostly was more even stronger is the interest to Iran, interest to the architecture, the music, culture, and history. So after 15 years of learning Persian language, I decided that I need to share some knowledge that I gained in these years, and that was decision to start teaching Persian. It happened in 2020 during COVID, and that was one of the best decisions that I made in the last almost 6 years, more than 5 years. I'm teaching Persian language to Russian speakers, to English speakers, and some Europeans, and even those whose mother tongue or the language of their ancestor were Persian, but with different reasons, same as mine, sometimes similar to mine, they couldn't learn it or practice it, and now they decided to go back to their roots. So that process of teaching also helped me to understand and to learn language deeper, because you become very careful when you teach in order to avoid mistakes or avoid some things that can harm the student or will misguide him, mislead him. So at the same time, I was attending online classes with Iranian teachers and still do that. Unfortunately, right now, some of them are not available because of the current situation that's happening in the Middle East. And I still have few teachers in a different subject. As main is the learning Middle Persian, the literature, Shahnameh and Ferdowsi's Shahnameh, and also Nizami Genjavi's poetry. So yeah, that's all about learning and some details about teaching. So thank you for watching and hope to see you soon again. Bedrut.